Welcome to Leicester Fan TV. It's Monday night. My name's Phil. We're live for the next 30 minutes. We want your views and we want your comments. Do you want to talk about the defeat at Man United, or have we already moved on from that? Do you want to talk about Ndidi? Seem to help us out. But like I say, do you want to move on from the FA Cup, and shall we focus on bring on the Arsenal on Saturday? I'm looking forward to it. I know a lot of you will be looking forward to it as well. So as ever, for the next 30 minutes, we want your views, we want your comments. I'm going to put a link out there. If you want to come on camera, you can do. We need to know what you are thinking ahead of the big game on Saturday against Arsenal.
The Leicester City machine is on the march again.
Leicester Fan TV presents a variety of content like fan discussions, match analysis, and engaging with Leicester fans worldwide. We want your views live, thanks to our sponsors, Everard's, Pucker Pies, Hologram, Take Me, Newbie & Co, and the Fox's Arms.
Want to watch more content like this? Hit the like button. Give us your views. Hit subscribe to Leicester Fan TV and make sure to follow Leicester Fan TV on all socials.
Yes, good evening. Don't forget, we're still trying to give away some Pucker Pies, so we'll come on to the Pucker Pies part later. But let's get as many views and comments in as ever. Welcome to the show. Richie, hope you're well. He says, good evening. We were robbed on Friday night at Man United in the FA Cup. So I asked, do you want to talk about Man United or do you want to look forward to the Arsenal game? Well, Richie is still feeling aggrieved by that last minute, no VAR decision. Love or hate VAR. Do you wish we had it in there? I don't know. There's a big thing of me which thinks, well, no VAR. You just have to get used to it sometimes. Sometimes you win, sometimes you lose. Matty says, good evening, hope you're well. Andy, hope you're well. Craig, good, hope you're well. And now, I put the link out there, so if you do want to come on live, just click on the link and you can come and give us your comments. We welcome all fans on here, of course. Gary says, good evening, hope you're well. Gary, are you looking forward to the trip to the King Power for the welcoming the Arsenal on Saturday? Can only see a Gooners win, but I hope I'm wrong, says Tony. Listen, Tony, I've seen a few fans say, why not? We could beat them. I don't know. This time last week, I was laughing when people were saying that. As you know, we're Leicester fans. You get like a bit blinkered and it is a roller coaster. Of course, there's a game, there's two teams on Saturday. We could beat them. You never know. Dawn, hope you're well in there. And Steve Moore says, Will definitely made a difference. I thought he did. I think that's what we've been lacking, is we've got the number one thing, Stephen, has to be defence, doesn't it, at the moment? And Wilf adds that level in there right in front of the defenders. And I think he complements Sumari a little bit in there. Paul says, evening all. Ian says, good evening. Thanks for that. Callum says, can see us beating Arsenal. There you go. Callum's a believer. I'm not sure. Listen, here's a thought for you. And this is up to you guys. There are some protests, I believe, happening before the game. Listen, everybody's got their right to these things. Good, fair play, whatever. If they want to protest, if people want to do that, fair enough. I don't know. At the moment, I feel a little bit like perhaps we should all come together as fans. And I know you've heard this before from people, but like sort of, we may as well back the lads as loud as we can in the ground, if you ask me. I'd rather be saying get in the ground early and start making some noise, if I'm honest, and back them all the way. But I don't know. I guess people are right to protest if they want to. It's not for me at this stage. I don't think a change of board, a change of working out Susan Wheeler, I don't think that has any impact on us staying up at the moment. But what could have an impact is you and me down at the ground making some real noise. And I don't know. It feels like it always comes down to the fans to try and make the difference. But we're here. I've loved Leicester like you have all my life. And I'll still love them in 2 years, in 5 years, in 10 years. But I'll tell you what won't be here in 2 years, 5 years, 10 years, is a lot of the most of the players won't be here. The manager won't be here. A lot of the infrastructure of the people there won't be there. But you'll be there and I'll be there. So it's down to us, I think, to kind of try and keep us up. I think we're more bothered than most. Callum said he could see us beating Arsenal. Patrick says, yes, the goal was offside on Friday, but what was Mads doing? Ward would have got hammered for that. I know you quite often see things, don't you, Patrick, where you go, well, it's like when Daka misses a shot. The minute Daka misses a shot, we're all on him like, oh, and Vardy misses one. and you go, oh, well, never mind. Harry's head was offside. It was offside when he was back in their half, mate, Phil. Maz says, good evening, hope you're well. Keep those comments in. We've got loads of comments coming in. Tony says they have 11 players. We have 5 to 6 bozos. Tony, are you talking about Man United or are you talking about Arsenal? I mean, Arsenal got quite a lot of skillful players in there. I've shared the link again if anybody wants to click in and come in. Paul says, I'm the only fan in Amble, Northumberland. It's quite a way up there. Thanks, Paul, for watching anyway. Dorco, watching on YouTube, says, the Gooners will think they just have to turn up. You are right, actually, Dorco. They will come here. Everybody, I haven't even looked at the odds, but the odds will be that Arsenal are going to win and quite comfortably. Maybe that plays into our hands. I don't know. I still have to question some things by Rude from Man United. I do want to back him and cheer him on and, like I was saying, rally us fans up. But I didn't get why we didn't have a striker on the bench. I think we had 9 subs against Man United and not one striker. That young lad, Jake Evans, was meant to be a striker. Didn't play him. Edward, I mean, literally, where is Edward? If Edward doesn't make the bench for an FA Cup match away, just where is he? I think the club probably should come out and say something because it seems very strange. And it was a shame that Monga didn't get on. I just thought he could have given him a bit of a go in there. Richie says doesn't agree with the protests and demonstrations. I'm just not sure, Richie, what... I mean, people are allowed to vent their feelings, of course, but I just think we need to make noise in the right areas, which is in the ground. And the Woodkin chants, and some of them are pretty. I'm not a Woodkin fan, but I don't know. I don't think that helps. The players can hear it. I just say let's maybe not do it during a match. Nick says here, what is a protest going to achieve? Yeah, Nick, I'm afraid I agree 100% with you on that. Tony Smith says we are down. The board ain't back. The clubs smell the coffee. Tony, listen, I understand what you're saying, and I think, of course, every fan's entitled to their opinion. The fact is, somehow, we're not down yet, Tony. There's 4 crap teams in this league, and we're one of the 4. That's as simple. There's Ipswich, there's Southampton, there's Leicester, and there's Wolves. That's 4 poor teams. It's going to be 3 out of those 4. We just need to be the 4th. And for me, it's not changed all season. We need to be 17th best team in that league, and we stay up. And we've still got a chance for it. Dorco says the protest will be ugly. Don't do it in there. Michael says at least Andrew Neville might be gone then. What's your thoughts, Scooby Baz says, on Harry Winks just lately? A bit meh. I've thought that all season, though, Scooby, this season, if I'm honest. I'm probably, if I'm honest with you, Scooby, he's a darn good championship player. Is he good enough for the Premier League? I don't know. Spurs let him go to a championship side. That was us. I don't know, Scooby. The question is, Scooby, what do you reckon to him? Let us know. Mark saying Man United got Fulham in the next round. Hope Fulham stuff them. Not too fussed about the FA Cup now. Bet Woodkin's ill on Saturday, says Patrick in there. Yeah, maybe he will. Tony says no to the protest, no change. We can't carry on like this. Oh, he says, sorry, Tony. He says no protest equals no change. I don't know, Tony. Again, I come back to it ain't over yet. The fat lady, as they say, is not singing. Leicester are not relegated. So the transfer window's done. Rude's got the team he's got. He's going to be the manager unless, I don't know, we keep losing. And then maybe in another 3 or 4 weeks, we will have to discuss other things. But I don't think anybody's going to criticise, and nobody's going to say we should have beat Arsenal. So in a way, for Rude, it's a free hit. There's a couple of games after that, which is where it starts to get interesting. Patrick says Edwards stuck in the bunker on the 7th hole at Seagrave. I just literally, does he even make the Seagrave training photos, Patrick? I don't know. Paul says Luke Thomas had a good game. I think he did. I think we've seen him a couple of times this season. Was it Villa away? He looked decent. Man United looked all right. Richie says we'll stay up. Good with that. Michael agrees. I mean, what what does anybody else want to say about Harry Winks? Do you agree with him? Andy says, does Cody get a game? No, literally no. Don't forget, Cody this time last week wanted to leave Leicester. He wanted, and he apparently was quite vocal about wanting to get out of there. So yeah, I don't think he's going to get much game time, if I'm honest in there. Nick says, the first of the 4 crap teams will do me come the end of the season. It's a 40. Listen, if you looked at it, like Nick said there, if you said at the start of the season, there's 4 teams in your league, Leicester, there's Wolves, there's Ipswich, there's Southampton, and there's Leicester. There's a 4-team league, and if you win that league, you stay up. That's all you've got to do. I mean, it doesn't help that we lost to Wolves, but we did at least beat Southampton away and get a point away at Ipswich. So, you know, we're in the mix. This week, I am Mr. Positive. I'm back to being Leicester can do it. We've got to be. Jane says, I mean, you can live your life if you want and be just negative and say we're down. But I'm not having that with like 14 odd games to go. We might as well be positive. You might as well be the glass is half full. We can do this. Let's stick together and let's do it. Winks was great in the Championship, not so great now. Don't do a protest, ain't going to do anything. That's kind of how I agree with there. Scooby says, thanks. Scooby's answered me and said, Harry Winks blows hot and cold, but at the wrong times. Would have been interesting. Nathan says, would have liked to have seen Monga get a run out. Again, there was all this yabba by Rude the day before. We're going to take the youngsters. To be fair, he never said he was going to play them. But it's like, well, just chuck them in. I guess it was 1-1 in the 90th minute. Maybe he just felt like it wasn't the time to put him in. Maybe it was the time to put him in and get a win. I don't know. Jamie from the Fox's Arm says, Winks is shocking. Do you agree with Jamie? Do you think he is shocking? I don't think. He's just a bit meh. That's the best way I can describe it. Ivan, good evening, Ivan. Hope you're well. Says, time to stand up and protest against Rudkin and the board. I think we're down. Wolves will pull away. And that is absolutely fair, Ivan. I'm certainly not gonna tell fans don't do the protest. If you want to go protest, go and do that. If some fans don't want to go to the game, don't go. If some fans want to leave early, you paid your money in my book, so do what you want. I just think like I get the vague feeling that the players are like a bit half-hearted, a bit wet. I think Rude's not that great. I don't think the board's backed him. There's old things, but I know I'm going to be there next year for sure. I'm guaranteed. You're probably guaranteed. I'm guaranteed probably in 5 years, in 10 years. Even if we went down to League One, I'm still there. You were there. If we go to League Two, I'll still be there. If we went non-league, I'd still go. But not some fans wouldn't. There wouldn't be 30,000 in the non-league, but I'd still go. Many of you would still go. So I just feel like let's back them in the ground and let's make some noise. That's really what I'm feeling like this week. Emily says a Coley to start on Saturday. I think that's a fair shout. I thought he did all right. Would you, if you were going to start him, Emily, would you start him with Faze or Vestergaard or Cody? I'm still. It's not the best pick ever, is it? But I thought Coley did all right on Friday night against Man United. Tony says, why the positivity? Another day, same crap on Saturday. I guess, Tony, I definitely hear what you're saying. We're having this back and forth, Tony. I just feel like we may as well go down having a go. And as fans, I don't know. I'd rather go down trying to sing and shout and back the. If I feel like we've done our bit in the stands and we've made some noise and we've backed the lads, then at least we go down and we made some noise. That's the genuineness of it. Scooby says the bad result against Man United. But let's have it right. Don't need the FA Cup run. No, we don't. We need to survive and we'll stay up. Wolves to drop. That's what you've got to look at, isn't it? It's Leicester or Wolves. Or, Ipswich will still feel they're in it. I'm just looking at the table as we literally do it here. Wolves are on 19. We're on 17. Ipswich are on 16. That's it. Everton are on 26. They're for me. Everton are gone. It's win the 4-team league. Sounds simple, doesn't it? But that's what you've got to do. We still play Wolves at home. No, we've played Wolves at home, of course. We lost 3-0. I've wiped that from my brain. We've still got Ipswich and Southampton at home. We've got games that we can win in there. Richie says, not Rude's fault. It's the Leicester City board and the players' fault. I think definitely the players have got told responsibility. You see, I do think they're accountable. The board's got told responsibility. They didn't spend any money in the transfer window. Rude's got to hold responsibility. He keeps picking the same team, and he doesn't put a striker on the bench. I don't know why we sent Alves out on loan. Why did we send Will? Can anybody explain why we sent Will Alves out on loan? Seeing as how he played pretty darn well I've watched videos of him play for Cardiff at the weekend and doing all this to the crowd afterwards. They already like him. Maybe he could have played for us. I don't know. What do you think? Nathan says go down swinging. That is what I'm feeling like this week, Nathan. Absolutely. Richie says fans got to be positive, not negative. It's blind faith, isn't it? But that's what we do. We're football fans. We're not scientists. We're not brain like what I can't even think of it. Brain doctors. I've lost my brain. Whatever we are, we're fans. Whatever you do, this matters. When players do that, it doesn't matter. They're not. But when we do it, we mean it. You know I mean that, and I know you mean it when you do it. Interesting, says David. Interesting who will be our manager next year. Ruud van Nistelrooy will be the first out the door. David, listen, I'm saying back the lads, back the lads. I've lost track now of how many we've lost in how many. Is it like 9 in 10? It's something like that. We've lost a hell of a lot of games. We probably will lose against Arsenal. I just want to see us give a fight, but that's another game gone, isn't it? An absolute another game gone. And then we've got to look at the other fixtures that are coming up. We've obviously got Leicester against Arsenal on Saturday the 15th. Then we've got Brentford. See, this is the game where we've got to get something. On the 21st, which is it's a week on Friday, isn't it? Thanks for that again. Mind you, I don't mind a home night on a Friday night. Leicester against Brentford on the Friday, the 21st. That's got to be 3 points. I know we've said that before. Then we've got West Ham away. There's a chance there. Then we've got Chelsea away. Let's forget that. And then we've got Man United at home. It ain't easy, but there are potential points in there. Let me know your views on any of those. Paul says, Wolves, Ipswich and Everton have much more fight. We don't. I saw a bit of fight-ish at Man United, but not a lot. Stephen says that manager can't even build young stars. In fact, he's not good enough tactically. Talking about Rude in there. I'm not a million miles off you, Stephen. I don't see that Rude is that brilliant a tactician at all in the game. Scooby says, got absolutely nothing to lose against Arsenal, so let's go at them. Who knows? Damned if we do, damned if we don't with the fans. Scooby, you and everybody else watching this, do you agree with this fact? If the players played with passion and courage and effort and looked like they'd put every last drop of energy into the game against Arsenal and we still lost 3-0, I'd accept that. Would you, Scooby, and everybody else watching? I'd accept that. I don't expect us to necessarily beat Arsenal, but I do expect blood, sweat and tears. So that's what we need to see. We certainly didn't see that against Everton in there. Keith says, not the blame game, but Ruud does share responsibility for yes, just a bit. He's the manager. He probably got the biggest impact out of the lot. He trains them all week and then he picks the team, Keith. I 100% think he does in there. Aggie's struggling to find... Right, come on. Let's help Aggie out. You're watching this. Let's help Aggie out. Let's find... Somebody give me some positivity. I'll start you off. Aggie, listen. It could be worse. You can put this in the comments. It could be worse, Aggie. We could be playing Rotherham away. We're playing Arsenal at home. That's the positivity. Aggie, come on. You've got to watch Leicester for years like me. Bring on the Arsenal. Don't want to go and watch Rotherham away or Tranmere away. We've got the Arsenal at home. It could be a famous 5-3 Leicester Man United. Who knows? We've seen it before. So Aggie, give Aggie some help. Find him some positivity in there. I've given you one. We could be away at Rotherham. Let me know what you think in there. Tony says it stopped raining. Yeah, okay. That's a bit of positivity for you in there. Need the players, says Craig, to show fight till the end. Not seen much of that. A few of you will say, well, we saw it away a bit at Spurs, but we haven't seen much of it. Richie says, I like Ruud van Nistelrooy better than Cooper. It's a debate I don't really want to get into, Richie. Just look at the stats and look which managers lost you like 28 games out of 27 or something. Let me know your thoughts in there. Michael says, give it up the Arsenal. Thanks, Michael, for that. I know what you mean. Up the arse and all. Stephen says, Ayew should not start against Arsenal. At least Mavididi can do better. Now, listen, really has clicked on. Nobody's clicked on the link tonight. How dare nobody click on the link? I've shared it one more time. Reedy has clicked on the link, and I'm going to pose him Stephen's question. Reedy, you coming in? Give us a thumbs up. There we go. Reedy, good evening.
Hello, how are you?
I'm good. Ayew should not start against Arsenal. At least Mavididi can do better.
I wouldn't say he could do better, but I don't think he could do worse. I'll say that. And I think that there is quality in Mavididi, unlike Ayew. Like, if I'm totally honest, yeah, people are going to be like, oh, Ayew scored goals, Ayew's got assists. I get that. And the stats people will always go to stats and say he's done better than Mavididi this season. But when you need a bit of magic or quality, which I know Mavididi majority of the time hasn't got, I think he can create it, unlike Ayew, which for me, Ayew just does nothing. He can hold the ball up, he can pass the ball backwards, and he can get put down on the floor and get a foul. But other than that, he's
so
great.
Here's a question for you, Reedy, and everybody else watching this. This follows on from Stephen's question a bit there. But if you're watching this, let us know. Has Mavididi and Ruud had a falling out? Because something's happened, hasn't it? Mavididi's gone from being pretty much in most weeks under Ruud to like not even coming on. Have they had a to-do, Reedy, and everybody watching?
I think the Ayew and Ruud connection, I think, has more in there because of maybe his work rate, like all Brighton was. I think he gives it all. I just don't think the quality's there, and I don't think that's what the quality.
Gives it all?
I think Ayew gives what he can. I think he does.
Yes, I agree.
I don't think he ever has like a lower than a 6 game, but I don't think he has anywhere higher than a 7 or 8. So he's just a bog standard, get the work done player, but I don't think he really gives the extra bit that I think the team needs, which I know Mavididi hasn't been, but with this break of form now where he's not been playing, maybe running the team now might do him some good, and he's playing against his old former team in Arsenal. I would bring him in. And by the end of the 90 minutes, I'll probably be like, he was awful again. But I think you've got to change something. Like you said, Ruud keeps picking the same players. But the first point is, who else do you put in? If you don't put a Coley or Faze in, you put Vestergaard and Cody in. You've not got much of a choice. Yes, you got the left back, which, again, I don't think Christensen's been awful. But you could put Luke Thomas in, and who I probably would do this week going into this game, because he's had a few good games since he's been in. And then even Andy there says Buonanotte. I don't think since Ruud's been in, Buonanotte's been that great. I know he's not been playing from the start, but when he comes on, he's losing the ball a lot. I get the point of it, and that's probably why Bobby Reed's playing, because he probably gives. He's basically like Ayew. He gives it all, but I don't think the quality's there. Which
there are a lot of rumours that he did have a disagreement with Buonanotte. I listened, by the way, to Ruud's post-match interview with Owen on BBC Radio Leicester, and he was talking. This was last Thursday before the Man United game, and Ruud was talking about how he comes into the training facilities and he talks to players and staff about his expectations and the levels that he himself holds himself to, and he says he talks to them about it, and he says he expects that players in particular and staff to work to the same height. But the way he says these words, Ruud, you don't have to read that much between the lines for him to understand that he's saying many of them don't have these standards or aren't up to these standards, because he's saying he's trying to get people up to these standards. So I do wonder, really, what he's alluding to there at the training ground and with some of the players. And I wonder if that's answers some of my question with Mavididi, Buonanotte, some of these other players that they're just not putting the shift in.
Well, you remember when I was saying about I think the team was good enough at the start of the season, and I think certain players now are good enough, but I don't think a lot of them are. And I think that's where when we said last season going into the new season that if you play this style of football, I don't think it'll work because of the quality we have. For instance, JJ, I get the point when against Villa he didn't get the ball out, which was saying, oh, he's drilled in so hard to pass the ball out instead of just booting it upfield. I think the quality's not there to be like to manage it better and get the ball out without losing it. Like I get the point of it, and I do think there's a lot of players now that aren't probably good enough to play the system or to stay in the league. But I think there is certain players that I think can keep us up in the league just by their quality alone. Like I honestly feel like El Khanous is one of our best players now, and you can see his quality going through most games. And yes, he loses the ball, but he is young. But it is difficult because I see what Ruud wants to do, and at times when we've won games like at Spurs or even at Man United on Friday night, I honestly thought when you said about Cooper saying, "Oh, he goes into a game not to get slaughtered or not to lose a game." I thought we did that against Man United. I thought we looked well. We looked like we could challenge them, and when they brought on their quality players, that's when we came undone. So it's just about keeping the level instead of dropping it. And I think the biggest mistake this season, which everyone on the chat has probably heard me saying, is mistakes. Like say Winks again on Friday night was just making mistake after mistake, giving the ball away. You've got FaZe who, again, at times people always say about he makes a mistake here and there. Vestergaard against Everton, there's always a mistake somewhere. But unlike say Spurs, which yes, there might have been a few mistakes, but if you can keep your level, you can go and win games. And I know it's going to be hard to keep a consistent standard, but I think that is the major thing for me. And maybe you do switch the team up a bit against Arsenal, because I think a few players do deserve to be in the team now.
Really, I want to know where you stand on this one. Dorco says, any fans that protest on Saturday are deluded. Support top or lose everything. But then Michael E comes back and says, fans protest might keep the club up for Dorco. I've said my piece tonight. I think get in the ground, enjoy the match. We don't expect to beat Arsenal, but who knows? It's Leicester. I just say get in the ground and make some noise, but everybody's entitled. What is your personal take, and it is your personal view on gathering outside to protest before the Arsenal game?
I get the point of people wanting to protest about it all. I don't think it's ever going to do anything to change what's happening. You can see how close Top and what's the Rookie are together when it comes to games, or when you see them together on photos. That it's not going to change much, in my opinion. So I do agree with you. I think go to the games. I always do it every week. I as much as we lose every week or we lose games here and there, I still go into the next game thinking there's a chance. I said in the office today, there's always a chance we can get a result against Arsenal. There is. You didn't think you'd go to Spurs and get a result?
Yeah, Nick says here.
Oh, I think Phil's gone.
Nick says, in the situation we are in, experience counts for everything. Ayew and Brenda Bobby DeCorva-Reid are getting the nod in there. And Michael says, that's right, everyone's prerogative. It is everyone's prerogative, Michael. That's what I say. If fans want to do a protest, you do it. If fans want to stand in the ground, make a lot of noise and back the team. In fact, you can do both. You can do a protest and you can still go into the ground and make noise. The
only reason you shouldn't, if you want to do the protest, fair enough. Just don't make it toxic. Don't make it aggressive. Don't make it all this. Just speak what you want to speak, and that's it. Don't make it like toxic, like has been at the games. Like say, crowds start with the rooking out or all that stuff in games. It's not needed when you're playing in a game. You're drawing or you're winning 1-0. You keep the team together. Not shout for Ruud out when you're winning or playing a game and you're in a tight game. There's no need.
Yeah, I go back to the Fulham game, Reedy, and I think the first Rudkin out chant I heard was after, I believe, 7 minutes. And like, it was 0-0 until after half time, and I just feel Rudkin out, and I had some feelings of all sorts chance, and you sort of go, it's not inspiring anybody on the pitch in my books. I get it; they want to make their voices known, and I keep saying you're entitled to have that. I think from a player's point of view, if you've got the team roaring you on, we can see what a difference it can do. We've got to go back to that greatest escape type of mentality. And some fans just don't want to, which is fine. But I just feel like we know we can make the King Power rock and roar. Maybe it just needs to start somewhere, Reedy, and maybe it is a dramatic draw against Arsenal, or again, like I said earlier, if we lost 3-0 but left all the sweat out on the pitch, I'd take that this Saturday.
Yeah, of course. And it's weird because while you get a win and everyone's happy, and then the moment you lose, everyone's raging around it. Like you can't. I don't think any fans can win. Like Michael said, the owner and the board are making it toxic. Like I get that, and I'm not saying to make it like toxic as in the fact of doing that. I'm saying like don't be aggressive, don't be causing havoc. Like it's just you putting your voice out there and protesting, not doing anything actually physical to the club. Like just put your word out there, and when you get to the game, support the boys, and hopefully you get a result. Otherwise, I don't see a point in going really. And when I was at Everton away, and you heard the players aren't fit to wear the shirt, I get the point of that side of it because they don't look like they're interested half the time. But I always see it as thinking they're going into every game wanting to get a result. It might not happen, but when you're 2-0 down after 6 minutes, of course your confidence is going to completely drop. Like I get it, and I just don't agree with certain chants. But
yeah, no, I get that. I mean, Keith says here about what fans embarrassing themselves. I do get why some fans are protesting, Keith, but I've also got to say we're in the toughest league. We're not the team we were 2 or 3 years ago. We are a different team now. We just need, we've still got as much chance as Wolves and Ipswich to finish top of this 4-team league. So anything we can do, I mean, the board should have made more transfer signings. That would have helped us stay top of that 4-team league. Rude should pick some different players and try some different formations. He can have an impact. But all I can do as a fan to help our club stay up is make as much noise in the game to roar on the team, even if I think they're a bunch of lazy, not fit to wear the shirt thing. If I roar them on, it's only going to help a teeny bit, really, but it will help.
yeah, like I say, I'm going into the Arsenal game having every hope that we can get a result. Again, it is Leicester. I know people are going to say this was like 5-6 years ago when we were beating all the top teams and saying it's a Leicester sort of thing to lose to a lower team and then beat a bigger team. I get that, but there's every chance you go into every game. It's a new game. Rude says it's a new game. Like no team goes into every game thinking you already lost. You've got to go in the game hoping you can get a result. And if you stay tight to them and you make sure you're defending well, there's every chance you can nick a draw or even get a win. No team is like say Ipswich. They beat Chelsea. I know it's a different form because Arsenal are top 2 or whatever, but there's every chance you can get a win.
Scooby says, really, what about when the players did not want to play for the manager? Thinking back to Rodgers, do you say you're not fit to wear the shirt? Then no, we didn't.
I didn't.
Paul says, and why are we here? The board. Yeah, I get that. Paul saying, why are we in the top? Michael says that. Richie says, Leicester to beat Arsenal. Richie, I need to come and live in your world for a few hours, please. I'm optimistic about Saturday, but not that optimistic. It is Leicester, Richie. So, God, you never know in there. Andy says, let's get behind the team. Robbie says, 1-1 draw against Arsenal. Scooby says, 55 quid to sit in the Kop on Saturday. I guess that is the price of Premier League football, Scooby. I don't agree with it. Obviously, a lot cheaper if you've got a season ticket holder, if you're lucky enough. But really, just very, very quickly, give us a score prediction for Saturday. And I'm not going to say a head says this, heart says that. I just want, actually, if things all worked out well, where could it get to potentially?
I'm going to go with what Robbie said, 1-1 draw. Again, I'd be ecstatic for a win, but a draw against Arsenal at home, if you get a draw, everyone will be really happy. I think everyone will be saying even if you don't lose the game against Arsenal on Saturday, you'd be happy. So yeah, a draw for me. And you asked about the odds earlier for the Arsenal game. We're 11-1 to win. So
£1 gets you 11 quid.
yeah.
Never bet on Leicester to do anything. Even the year we won the bloody league, I had us at 700 to 1, and I didn't put any money on it. I thought it never happened.
Well, it just shows you that Plymouth against Liverpool yesterday were 12-1. So
shows what happens if you go for it. I mean, Paul says, keep happy clapping until win League One, which I hear what you're saying, Paul. I just disagree with you. I don't think we are happy clapping. In fact, I'll be in the ground annoyed as anybody else if we're crap. I just feel like that's not happy clapping. I'm just doing the bit I can do as a fan. I'm trying to make some noise to roar the team on, because that's kind of how being a supporter inside the ground works. Is the more you cheer and the more noise you make, whatever's going on. I remember the day, I'm going to go back to an old memory. I remember the day we had to beat Oxford to stay up in what was League Two, Division Two as it was, and that would be the Championship really. Last game of the season, we'd been crap all season. But I tell you what, the atmosphere in Filbert Street that day when we played Oxford, and we were rubbish, but when we scored the goal, the noise to get the fans made the difference. And that's why I disagree with Paul. It's not just happy clapping. The fans can, I know, speaking, Paul, to players who played at Filbert Street and at Leicester, the fans can make a difference. And if singing Woodkin this and Whelan that doesn't make a difference. In fact, that creates a negative attitude. I'm not saying it's wrong, and I'm not saying the chants aren't aimed at the right direction, but they do not help. Singing Woodkin or whatever will not help inspire players.
I don't think it will change things either. I don't think it will change things either.
I agree. So you're entitled to it. If fans want to have a protest, if fans want to sing that stuff in the ground, fair play, that's up to them. It just won't help get us a result against Arsenal or the next week against Brentford. That's my take on it. So I guess I'm asking fans, you got to do it again. You got to back the lads. You got to make some noise in the ground, Reedy.
Yeah, and the last thing I'll mention is make sure you enter the competition of the Book of Pies.
Thank you, Reedy. Well done to you. Yes, indeed. This is about the last week of it. Who is hiding behind the Pucker Pie? If you know that player, put it in the comments. But the post has gone out again tonight. I think it's the last week of this competition. You can win a season's worth of Pucker Pies of your choice, whatever pie flavour you want. What's your favourite pie flavour, Reedy?
It would just be steak.
Steak, yeah, that's about. Can't beat a chicken balti pie. So if you know who that player is hiding behind the Pucker Pie, a Leicester City legend, make sure you comment on it and we'll announce the winners. Thanks, Reedy, and thanks to all the guys at Pucker for that competition. I'll let Reedy go. Cheers, mate.
Bye-bye.
He's gone. I should have got him to tell you that, of course, they're doing a tactics show on Friday at 1 o'clock, and the lads will be live in Fox's Focus on Thursday at 7:30. And we've, of course, got the famous, the one and only Aftermath show on Sunday morning at 9:30. So, listen, thanks for all your views and all your comments. I can see a few of you have got it right in the Book of Pies one. Make sure you enter on the actual post. So make sure, look on our socials and enter on the post where you see that and get it in there. So listen, thanks for everybody. Protest if you want. I'm not telling fans what to do. I'll just be there trying to cheer them on because I know that helps try to get us, keep us up. And we still can stay up. So why not us? It's always down to the fans. It's always down to you. It's always down to us. The fans have to make the difference. We have to show the players what it means to be part of this club. Some of them don't look like they really care. So make some noise, back them, and cheer them on. Whether you think they're right or not, it will only help us get those potential points to keep us up. Because trust me, I think we actually can be top of a 14 league with Wolves, Southampton, and Ipswich in it. So cheer the lads on. I'm not happy clapping. I'm just doing what I know how to do as a fan, and I'm trying to make some noise. Join me making noise or protest if you want. I'll leave it up to you. It's your club. It's your choice. Thanks for watching Leicester Fan TV. We'll see you next time. Hopefully, Bring on the arse.
The Leicester City machine is on the march again.
Leicester Fan TV presents a variety of content like fan discussions, match analysis, and engaging with Leicester fans worldwide. We want your views live, thanks to our sponsors, Everard's, Pucker Pies, Hologram, Take Me, Newbie & Co, and the Fox's Arms.
Want to watch more content like this? Hit the like button. Give us your views. Hit subscribe to Leicester Fan TV and make sure to follow Leicester Fan TV on all socials.